Hey guys, today we are going to be looking at the Transformers Legacy Voyager class Jhiaxus. Sorry. Um complete completely forgot what he came from. um so yeah, Jhiaxus, this is his second toy, I think, and the first one was a remold of the Thrilling 30 Deluxe class Armada Starscream. So yeah, here he is in his Generation 2 form, and I have no attachment to Jhiaxus, but I really, really love this toy. Um, in this jet mode, he uh, it's doesn't look like a real jet, but it still looks cool. I'm gonna take his guns off. So his guns, there's this little itty bitty one that's done in like a dark, transparent, charcoaly plastic with some silver. And there's this red one that's just cast in red. And I put them underneath of the nose cone without a port, but there's 4 ports there, 1 port there. So yeah. And these wings, gonna talk about them really quick. The instructions say to do it like that. I like to have them like this, like just to add another dynamic to it. But I'll just keep them folded down. But yeah, I like the jet. It's overall pretty clean. If you know that these are his arms, they're his arms. This is his little sensor thingy, and obviously those are his feet. But overall, a lot of his robot mode is covered up. Obviously, if you know that these are his shins, those are his shins. But if I just handed this to someone that didn't know what the robot mode looked like, it's fairly clean. Obviously, the arms just hang out down there. But when I got him, I thought you could do like something with like a display stand. Like you could turn these into a stand. Like if you do it right, I don't know, because these are his arms. I don't know. You could do that, but you know, you could experiment with that, but probably not. I don't know. I just thought it was an idea. But yeah, I really like the jet mode. I like its weird aesthetic. Like doesn't even look like it could come off the ground if you wanted to. These are how you have to transform them with. But if you want the wings up here and not back there, if you want that aesthetic, I think that went in. Yeah, if you want that aesthetic, like you want the wings more like that, like looking like the Seekers, more the wings more in the middle than in the rear, in the back, and then you could flip these out. You got a lot of options for what you can do with this guy, with what he does. His jet mode, since these are on these hinges, and they just peg in. So yeah, you can do a lot with this guy, and I like that. But I just like to keep it like that. So yeah, there's quite a bit, I don't know, with the jet mode, quite a bit to talk about. And I'll get to the head right there. The head, you're not supposed to turn it around so you would see his face poking through this part of the like window, windshield, whatever you want to call it. But I just flip it around. I flip it around so you see the back of his head, not his face. So, and it doesn't cause any clearance issues. You can see his face peeking through his arms just right there. So yeah, I leave it like that. I flip it around so I don't see it, and it doesn't cause any clearance issues, no paint chipping. So yeah, let's get into the transformation. So first, you want to start with folding the wings in. That can be a little bit scary, like first time doing it, because they're fairly thin, or at least the white pieces of the hinges. There's a lot of stress there, having to go around this tab, and they're fairly thin, but I think they'll be okay. It would have been nice to have them a little bit thicker or had a little bit more of a hinge there. I don't know. Uh, doesn't matter. You're gonna flip the nose cone in, or wait, no, you can't flip the nose cone in just yet. But you're gonna disconnect the arms. I just like to bring them out just partially like this, and then bring them out, get them out of the way. I like to fold these out. Now you're gonna split these. You're gonna split them, and now you have to it's sort of weird because I'll show you when I get it undone. You sort of have to use his like knee to undo it, because there's this little spot right here that goes underneath this white piece, and then there's this tab that goes into that slot right there. So it's a very strong connection, so you just have to sort of fiddle with it, and if these are in your way, you just hinge them out of the way and move them. So yeah, that's one part that I think shouldn't have been there. Just there's a lot of like stressing, a lot of just barbaric jerking to get them undone. So I don't know. So now you can fold this up like that. Now we'll work on the legs. You're going to disconnect these parts from his feet, and then these will hinge up. Well, you gotta flip the foot out. Then you gotta close that up, and now you can swing this around, and it'll just go right into place, filling that in. And then that little slot will go over this little tab when you go back in, like that. And, you know, you just saw it. This little slot will go into that little tab, and that covers all that up. Same thing on this side. Disconnect this, and it's just a tab right there that goes in the slot in the foot. Now you just close that up. Now you do that. Close that up. Position those wings like that. Gonna raise the camera. And now you swivel the waist around. And now with these, you're gonna spread them apart, and then you can see his face. And now you're gonna come here, open up that door, bring out his fists, peg those in. On mine, they're fairly tight, so they stay together, but sometimes they can come undone in both modes because they're so tight. But and they're not too tight to where I can't open these doors back up. So yeah, I like that. Nice and tight, but not too tight. So now you're going to bring this down, and then you're going to split this. So now this will you'll bring up the head and swivel it around if you did what I did. And now here you're supposed to bring this out. And now you can bring the nose cone in. And now you close that up, make sure that's out of the way. Close this, make sure that tab's going in, like so. Now you shift the shoulders up. And there you have Transformers Legacy Jhiaxus. Just straighten them out. And that's one thing with the weirdness of the knees. They can sort of like vary in height, as you could probably see. This one's higher than the other one, so you just have to like fiddle with the way you position them and stuff. But I'm not gonna care too much about it right here, as long as I can get them just standing straight. And I'm just gonna adjust that, give them a nice A stance, and there you go. So yeah, there is Jhiaxus. He has articulated hands, so, you know, he obviously these just slip in due to the sculpting of the fist, like that. So yeah. So you know, you can. I remember when I got this guy, I think I got him when I got Override, I think, or very similar. And you know, you can, because Jhiaxus is just like a brutal warlord. Because of his articulated hands, you can make him like choke guys, like grab him around the neck and stuff. Like, it adds a whole nother dynamic to his to the toy because of his character. Like, it fits his character. The fact that he just hates everyone. Like, he doesn't just hate the Autobots, he hates the Decepticons, he hates everyone. He thinks this whole Autobot-Decepticon war is dumb, so he just hates everyone. So I like the fact that he has articulated hands, he has very good articulation. You know, his shoulders, that might be a concern, but just shift that out, get a whole lot more. It's a little bit more loose, a whole lot more loose due to its since it's a transformation joint. But yeah, overall, he has quite a bit of articulation. and I like it. I love his aesthetic. I think they did a nice job with balancing paint with plastic. His transformation is very good. Like, doesn't feel too complex, doesn't feel um, too dumbed down, and it does a fairly good job at capturing whatever his alt mode is. I love his stature. He's a very tall Voyager for his time. I have a very mangled uh, Energon Ironhide next to me. I don't know. I can't remember what class he is, what size class he was, like Ultra class or something. I can't remember. But, he's a big toy. Very, very big. And he's the same height. So he is definitely not a small Voyager. Not just a deluxe with extra parts. He's very big. I like the fact that he's big. He's supposed to be like that. He was in Generation 2, to my recollection, he was there to destroy everyone because he thought the whole Autobot Decepticon war was dumb, so he was there to end it all. And he definitely was. He was the new generation of Decepticons, and I think the size of him, the fact that he has articulated hands, his articulation, everything about him, I think emulates his character. So yeah. His face, I love the face. Number one, he has very, very expressive ball-jointed head, and I just love, love, love his face. His scowl is perfect. So much detail within it. I love the piercing green eyes. I love the green on the sensor. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but I absolutely love, love, love his head. So yeah, his guns, you can do a lot with these. You can peg them together this way, have them hold it like that. There's a port on the back, you could do that. I don't know, you could flip it around, do that. You can do whatever you want. There are ports, 2 ports on his arm, so you can put this gun on his arm, you can put this gun on his arm. You can make him holding it, like this small one. I like to have it on his arm, like if that looks cool. You can do whatever you want with him, and you don't have to rely on the grip strength of his articulated hands because they're sculpted with a 5mm port, so he can just hold them, nothing bad to deal with. So yeah, now the sensor. This port back here, dang it, stand. So this port back here, the sensor can come off like that. And you can fill out the back of the gun like that. Obviously that could be added as like detail, like that's like a cell that's like able to be reloaded. I don't know, even though there's a magazine right there. I don't know. And now you can come back here, fold this back, fold this out, and you can fold this back out, and then this can fold in like that. Fold that in, close that up, close that up, bring that to get back together. I've never had him, he's never been this finicky with his feet before, like his legs and stuff. Probably it's because I'm moving him around so much. But yeah. So if you don't want that sensor, blocking him or blocking his head or anything, you can completely fold it away, and you can either put that, since it's just a 5mm port, you can put it back here if you don't want it on the gun. If you want it to be on his arm, you can do that. You can do whatever you want with it because it's 5mm port. But me personally, I just like the sensor. It doesn't hurt anything. I just like the... What? Did that just come off his ball joint? Yes, it did. There. But me personally, I like the sensor. I just like what it does, the way it looks. I like the green that's on it. and and it's part of his look. It doesn't feel like it uh, is like crowding, like it doesn't take away from his face. That face is perfect, awesome. If they gave him a worse face, I'd be very upset, and not this one. But yeah, overall, I really, really, really like Jhiaxus. I have no affinity to the character. I didn't grow up reading the Marvel comics or the G2 comics. Um, just knowing his character, knowing how cool he is, and then having a cool toy for that. And his name is a pun. When the G2 comics were to be canceled, he was named for that. It was Jhiaxus, like they axed the project. So yeah, his name is a pun. It sounds cool with it, like it's not just some dumb pun for a name. But yeah, I really, really like this guy. And obviously he's in Legacy, so you can still get him. And he's not one of those Voyagers like Studio Series Hot Rod, to where he's a deluxe. You get what you get, and he shows his price. What he's being sold as. So yeah, really, really like this guy. Really, really suggest getting him. So yeah, till next time. See ya.